G'day, and welcome to Stewart's Garden in Sydney, Australia. Well, not many updates left remaining because I don't have that much longer, but I still have a lot to do. So, here we are. I've redone the area. I still have plants to plant that I've purchased that I hope will just really start spreading out vigorously and overtaking this area so that it will help prohibit the cats from defecating. This time I've lifted the netting up again, and of course I told you I was going to put the cones in, so I have my cones, and I actually put stakes in, wooden stakes, just to help hold them upright, because there are other kind of animals who come over here who try to upset the netting. The two-legged variety, who don't like the fact that the cats can't poop here. That being said, I have offered them an option, and that is that they can clean up the 20 or so cats that love to come over here and do their own cat litter rotation to pick up the cats' poops. Anyway, I think it's starting to take shape. I've managed to get some more pots planted so that there's less real estate over there for the cats to scratch and poop. And flowers are pretty. The only issue is that the jacaranda tree it's spring here in Sydney, Australia, so the jacaranda tree is starting to burst. It will be beautiful, but the mess it leaves is something else. It also means that this will be shaded before too long. I did manage to get the pots up in the tree, and we'll go around the other side so we can see better. I'm considering moving, I think it's a Lysandra, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking I'm going to move it over on that side as well, where the new pots are. We've had a bit of rain, so everything is looking fresh, and all the new plants that I've planted are thoroughly enjoying the wet. My next job is going to be taking these two planters and moving them along the fence. My only thing I still have to do before I do that is to figure out, it's kind of like chess, where I'm going to put this plant so that it does well, because I will need that planter. Why, you say? Because the pansies are not permanently planted, they're just fillers, and my brother wants probably the Bidens and the osteopermum in there so that he gets to see the daisies close up. So these pansies are going to be moved into the brown long pots over by the side of the fence. That way it's a win-win. Now, I didn't plant these very long ago, but look how they're popping. I can only imagine how beautiful all these hanging pot petunias are going to be once they start hanging over on the sides and dropping. They're going to look a lot more like this, which I think will be absolutely stunning for Stewart as he views his garden from the veranda. Everything is just looking gorgeous. And this hasn't looked back. This was almost looking dead when I put it in there a week ago. The surprise geraniums are no longer a surprise. Beautiful color. And even the geraniums, which didn't look like they were that good of a condition, just glorious in color. So I'm really, really, really pleased. I didn't have the heart to pull out the, let me go around. Oops, a daisy. Here we go. I didn't have the heart to take out these petunias. They're not hanging, they're not waved, they're just regular old garden ones, so they go straight up. They still look stunning, and I know he loves these particular candy stripes. So I've moved them here because they're still glorious, but that is going to be another pot that I will be able to fill when I come my next trip. What an awesome purchase these petunias have been. I was expecting a bit more vibrancy from some of the petunias. Oh, lost the focus. There it is. That was supposed to have purple and spots and splodges, but maybe they'll come as it starts taking root because it's just freshly planted. Not my favorite petunia, but that was the color he loved, so that's the color we got. And you know what, with the assortment of colors, it fits in just fine, and I think it will be beautiful once the wave petunia starts dropping over the side of the pot. Just glorious. What I've done is I've tied the geranium to the tree with the hopes that it will also grow, and next time I come I'll be able to try and start training the geranium up the tree as well. Right now I have managed to pick up all the nasturtiums and start their climbing. They were all on the ground when I came, but they're looking really good up the tree. It looks like they're thriving. These are climbing nasturtiums that I had bought from, I believe, the reject shop when they had their cheap seeds in. Now this was a Bunnings $2 one for the itty bitty pot. I'm thinking it might be a bit of a challenge, not because it's not going to do its thing, but because I'm not sure his carers are going to water it. That's going to be the problem. So down here is where I intend to put those two little pots with the pansies, so they'll get some sun and shade as well. Now I did move the begonia. This is a miniature begonia, so it's never supposed to grow big. That being said, I'm sure it has the potential, but it seems to be loving it and has a new lease of life over here. But again, it is that question of whether or not my brother's carers will water. Here's another osteopernum. And there's my calendula. Now this is in here because I wanted it in here. We have the garlic chives, again another fragrant smelling plant that the cats don't like. The other thing that is an issue with some of these plants, particularly on this side, is that at night time the opossums come and they barrel across his roof, and then they come down and they eat more of the succulent type flowers. So I'm watching that while I'm here. Another idea I have is to get some of the volunteers So he's got some volunteer violas, the African violets. He's got some volunteer cut-offs that I just shoved in a pot, and they just seem to be coming and thriving. And I'm thinking I'm going to take a lot of those volunteers and just plant them willy-nilly in that corner to see what takes. I still have the step-on cover that I'm thinking where's best to plant. I actually think it's gorgeous. I'm not even sure I want it as a step-on plant because it looks like it's just going to be something that would be beautiful in a pot. Maybe, and let me know what you think, maybe if I took that little bitty itty step-on plant and switched it out with the petunia, got another petunia pot, I could use the pliers, bend the petunia pot and put it on the tree so there would be 2 pots there for him. I think that might actually look pretty, and I'm really seriously thinking about it. I've run out of tree space, so what I did is I took the pliers, I opened up the hook, and I switched the mesh hooks so that the pot looks like it's hanging properly, but it's not. It's just that there's a shortened chain link, but now it fits perfectly. I moved some of his pots over here so that if anyone needs to get over here, they can. I did purchase him, not this trip, the trip before, a hose, and that hose actually goes out 4 feet, and with the pressure of the water it can water all in here. So his carers actually don't need to walk this far, but the opportunity for walking definitely is there. Now this is a bit of a sadness, is that everywhere I weeded when I first came, we now have new weeds. Yes, a bit like Florida. Not only do the flowers grow great in this weather, but the weeds do also. I found a wee broken off succulent in the ground, in the pot on the ground, so I've just shoved it in the side. We're over here and look, it's already taking off, so I'll be interested to see what happens there. This is an interesting wee bush thing, and I think it would do great for ground cover too. And maybe, I need something that can survive and thrive without too much water assistance. But again, that's another one of those plants where I could put out of the pot and shove in the ground back here, remembering that just in a few short weeks, once the jacaranda leaves come out, the sun all back there is going to be gone. We've got a few of the how do you say it? Oh, I had it in my head. It just went blank. Mandalina. I've forgotten the name of it, but I've got a beautiful red one on this side that I planted last time, and one that just doesn't seem to want to climb on this side. And then I have a little one that comes out with a yellow plant. It's called Hybertia scandens. It seems to be quite a nice one that grows in many people's gardens. So I'm hoping that all of this will come up as well with vine colors. They should be beautiful. All right, and before I turn this off, Oh yes, I just will show you how the climbers are doing. I've trimmed up off all the dead stuff, and since I've arrived and done what I've been doing, we've got flowers already from the jasmine. So the idea with the jasmine was it flowers the exact opposite of, and I don't know what this one's called, of this plant. So as it the Dale Champia, as they bloom, he should, in theory, once they establish themselves, be blooming year round with the two. So there we have it for today. I wish I could tell you I was nearly done, but I still have to get in all these pots. The soil has dropped and I need to build the soil back up in nearly all the pots. So it's a big job ahead of me. Have a wonderful day, and I will give you an update again when I've been able to spend more time in Stewart's Sydney garden.